All get seated so that we start with our meeting. Thank you very much. I'm declaring this meeting officially opened. This is a very important meeting with the MEC and the department, where they come and account to this portfolio committee. And as the portfolio committee, we're executing our mandate of holding the executive accountable on your daily, activities in terms of implementing the service delivery program that you have presented to us. So in this meeting, you are all welcome, feel free. We are meeting when we, at the portfolio committee, MEC, we should just indicate that we feel we should just appreciate the fact that we have systems in place now. There's no more excuses now. The systems are in place. The machinery has been oiled, HOD. Ours now is to implement. And as the portfolio committee, we are making that commitment that we are together on that journey to make sure that we deliver on our mandate. The department, the RAL, to you, board chairperson, and your team. We have indicated that now this financial year, then you need to actually account, because now you have put the systems in place. Our people who have elected us as honorable members of the legislature, they can't wait, they are impatient, they need services, and we have made that commitment that we are going to deliver in terms of the mandate. So we need to actually appreciate in the way MEC you have been trying your best to shape up the department to make sure that there should be improvement, and we could see all of us. The Limpopo province has been declared a construction site because of your effort as the portfolio, as the Department of Public Works, Road Infrastructure and RAL. Projects are there. Some have been handed over. What we are expecting from you is to make sure that there is monitoring of those projects as they are implemented. In the next 2 weeks, the portfolio committee will be out in Skukune to do our oversight work. Then we are targeting all the projects that have been handed over, and also the program that you have just presented to us to check how far are we in terms of driving those programs. So with those few words, feel welcome, MEC and honorable members to participate. So thank you very much. So we proceed to apologies and attendance and apologies. Coordinator.
have 2 members who have traveled, and then we have 1 member that is ill, and then we have 2 members that have joined us online, and that is Honorable Liboro as well as Honorable Machumane. And that's all the apologies and attendance on my side. Thank you so much, Chair.
Thank you very much, Coordinator. And then I should actually confirm that we have who are connected visually, who are part of this meeting. They will be contributing, as the coordinator has just alluded to. So I think we need to move to the confirmation of the agenda. Honorable members. Honorable Pokwane. Thank you. Any seconder? Honorable Tsepuru.
I second the move by Honorable Pokane.
Been adopted. That is those are the only items that are going to guide us in terms of our meeting. Now, we'll rush straight to item 4, business of the day. 4.1, briefing by the Department of Public Works Road Infrastructure, briefing us on annual report. Then thereafter, we will proceed to RAL, annual report. So over to you, MEC.
Thanks very much, Honorable Chair, and greetings to all honorable members that are present here, and also those that have connected to this meeting. Our officials from legislature, colleagues from both RAL and the department as led by the head of department, Ntate Pukunzi. Through you, Honorable Chair, Ntate Nechfefe, please allow me to request the HOD to take us through, on behalf of the Department of Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure, the 2024-2025 Department Annual Report. Over to you, HOD.
Thank you very much, Honorable MEC, and good morning to the Honorable Chair of the Portfolio Committee and the Honorable members as well, and the Chairperson of Roads Agency Limpopo and the Acting CEO and all colleagues. I'll be presenting the 24-25 financial year annual performance report. The next slides on the report, they refer to our mission, our vision. I will not talk to that because this is the information that we tabled before the committee when we were tabling our APP for 24-25 financial year. The next slide is on the departmental strategy map, just demonstrating in terms of how strategically we are placed as the Department of Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure. The departmental impact statement is that accessible, integrated and sustainable infrastructure for socio-economic and economic development. I don't know who is on the slides. I'm just a little bit ahead. The next slide is the departmental outcomes. We can go to the next. Yeah, the next slide is on the departmental outcomes and the MTSF priorities, where we are then sharing the departmental outcomes as they are linked to the MTSF priorities. and across our 4 programs in the department. We have a summary in the next slide of the annual performance that we tabled in 2023-24, and I will not really go much into detail there as we'll be talking to the 24-25 financial year. But just to say, Honorable Chair and the Honorable Members, that this time around in 23-24, the department was at 89.2% of its annual targets. And in the next slide, we have the information for 24-25 financial year, that we are now sitting at 94% in terms of our annual performance as the department. We couldn't achieve 2 targets, that is under property and facilities management, where we were targeting 5 and we achieved 4 and 1 was not achieved. And also on roads infrastructure, where we didn't achieve 1 as well. And we'll then talk to those. But in total, we're at 94%. The next slide is a graphical presentation of our achievements over the year. And we'll see how then we've been trying to improve, especially in the in the last financial year and the 24-25, the financial year that is under review now in terms of this presentation. But just to look at the financial years there, Honorable Chairperson, you will see that over the years, it was very difficult to get an alignment between the expenditure and the performance targets. And in 23-24, we were at 89% in terms of performance, and our expenditure was sitting at 97%. And at the current financial year, we have that little correlation in terms of where we are at 94% and the expenditure at 93%. We'll be talking to these legends as we'll be presenting. As we have already mentioned, that we have 2 targets that we didn't achieve. But we also have a number where we have overachieved. And I'll try then to go through that, as the members of the public will also want to follow. Key achievements, administration. We had a target of 10%, and our actual achievement is at 4.82%, which gives us an overachievement, because in terms of the DPSA policy, the department is expected to be at 10% vacancy rate or less, and we are sitting at 4.82% there. Reduction on staff debt, we then overachieved. Instead of 25% in line with that target, we achieved 31%. And this was due to officials who retired, and an outstanding bursary debt balance was also settled in a lump sum through a disallowance of leave gratuity, as we're trying also to reconcile on these numbers. On the revenue, we collected 141 million instead of 41 million. And this was overachievement was achieved due to the surrender of 90 million unspent fund from 23-24 financial year by RAL. And when RAL then surrendered this, it came to us and recorded as revenue on the side of Treasury as well. All these other targets on the administration, on the next slide, we'll see that we are all at 100% in line with what we have set for ourselves. On infrastructure operations, also here, the number of user asset management plans, the UMs, which are compiled in line of a GIAMA framework, we managed to achieve that, and even the number of facilities provided for the Department of Agriculture, COGSTA, and DSEC, and also for the Department of Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure. On the key achievements on property and facilities, that is number of utilization inspections conducted for office accommodation. In 24-25 financial year, we managed to reach our target of 25, and the number of immovable assets verified in the immovable asset register, and here we have overachieved, Chair, to 475, in line with that target there of 75 that is there, as we appointed a verification task team to physically verify all our assets. And this is one area that we are doing quite well on the part of the asset register there. The key achievement in education infrastructure management, in the beginning of each financial year, we sign a service delivery agreement with departments. And this is for the Department of Education in that Chief Directorate. And the number of education infrastructure program implementation plans that were developed between us and the department, we then achieved one, and that was the actual achievement in line with the target there for the financial year. I think the next slide, can we go to the next slide again? Yeah. The number of education construction projects, we have 18 in terms of the projects that were completed in the last financial year, 24-25 financial year. Those are all the schools there, 18 of them that we have achieved. And we also set ourselves 2 targets of completing designs that will be ready for tender for the current financial year. And I managed to achieve 2 there in line with the target of 2. In the next slide, if we continue then with provincial departments, infrastructure management, the number of client department service delivery agreements, we targeted 4 because initially we thought or were of the view that LIDET will come in at a later stage, but we managed to receive or to sign off the SDA with LIDET, and the same applies to the IPIP for the financial year, and we had to include LIDET there. But that is also mainly the timing in terms of when then we also confirmed the projects for LIDET that we had then to include in our plans for the 2024 financial year, Honorable Chair and the honorable members. A number of other provincial department infrastructure designs ready for tender. We set ourselves there to 10, but we ended up achieving 12 for those as we're planning for the current financial year. In terms of the new provincial departments, in terms of the construction projects completed, these are the projects that we are implementing, not for health or education, but for all other departments, including the Department of Public Works. Our target was 6, and we achieved 6. And even on the side of refurbishment or renovations, we set ourselves a target of 6, and we managed to achieve that target. In expanded public works program, in the number of EPWP work opportunities created by the Provincial Department of Public Works and Infrastructure, we had a target of 1,100, and we overachieved there. Actual achievement is 2,333, and the department overachieved due to replacement of participants who left the program, because then it will then double count, obviously, when you replace an EPWP member. But in overall, that target was achieved of 1,100. And the number of beneficiaries, empowerment in interventions, we managed to achieve those beneficiary interventions as the department. Still on expanded public works programs, number of public bodies reported on EPWP targets within the province. The actual is 36 against the target that we set for ourselves of 35, and therefore there was an achievement by one there because Waterberg was not initially included as one of the number of public bodies, because at the start they did not have the projects in line with the EPWP, but then they reported on one project which also appeared in the system, and we had to include it. And this is one district that does not have a water service, or that is not a water service authority, and hence then normally they will not be included to that extent. The number of interventions implemented to support public bodies, our interventions there, we achieved all of them. That target of 4 was achieved in terms of those interventions there. On program 4, roads infrastructure, Honorable Chair, these are the number of kilometers of gravel roads bladed and the number of kilometers of gravel roads re-gravelled. And all this is the work that was implemented by Dikharakhere, our hashtag Dikharakhere Wednesday. And when we came here to table our APP, that was before the 7th administration started. And obviously, after that, we'll remember very well, Honorable Chair, that then we started with the program as it was spearheaded and led by our Honorable MEC. And hence, you see as if there was an under-targeting there, but it was not necessarily an under-targeting. It was more that drive of the Dikharakhere. And hence, you see the number of kilometers of gravel roads bladed were 40,000, but we achieved 55,646. 47 kilometers. And the number of kilometers of gravel roads re-gravelled, we had a target of around 45. And we are now at 132, in terms of our achievement. And we managed then, even when we were setting the targets for ourselves for the current financial year, to benchmark on the work that we did in the last financial year. And even now, when you look into our Limpopo development plan, the sector-specific targets that are there, for the first time, we are having gravel roads bladed and also gravel roads re-gravelled, and not only upgrading as we used to do before. And in terms of the square meters of blacktop patching, we achieved 519,715,000 instead of that, or against the target of 325,000, and more defects developed due to backlog in rehabilitation, and the department prioritized the repair of defects on the road surface to ensure the roads are drivable. But in the main year, Honorable Chair, apart from our households, the department has been also in the drive again here to ensure that officials in the department, they also play their part in blacktop patching, and hence those numbers that we see there. In terms of the number of work opportunities created under roads, we targeted 3,406, but we achieved 5,104 in the last financial year, and we do have the replacement of participants right across during the 2024-25 financial year. Even the number of full-time equivalent, our target was 2,132, and we achieved 2,263. The number of youth Our targets was 1,873, and we ended up at 1,953, overachieving there. And the same applied to the number of women employed here under roads, in line with our EPWP program. That our target was around 2,044, and we overachieved by achieving 3,509 there. Now, we spoke about the two areas where we could not achieve under property and facilities. The number of properties disposed of, we had a target of 13, and we ended up with 3 there. That the 10 properties could not be disposed of due to number of reasons. The delays in issuing treasury approval, clearance certificates and transfers, unsigned deeds of donations, and also land claims. And this is one issue that, Chair, we've been in and out of the committee talking about here, where we are also working with our municipalities. But I think the interventions, also even in line with the recommendations of the portfolio committee, were taken into account when we're presenting the third and the fourth quarter reports. On roads, infrastructure, the last time we were saying we couldn't achieve to employ people with disabilities. And I think the interpretation was that we could not achieve for the entire department. And this is just for the EPWP under roads, that we targeted 22, but then we achieved 18. And the department could not achieve due to limited participation by persons with disabilities. And this is mainly on the EPWP program for that financial year of 24-25 financial year. Honorable Chair, in the last financial year, we spent 93% of our total budget, and that is after we received just above 400 million for a flood damage in the province, disaster management from the Treasury. And we know that this money came in during the second adjustment budget, and we have put measures in place in the current financial year. And although we are still waiting for the rollover or the additional fund to augment the under expenditure, the commitments are there for the current financial year, and we'll be able to spend that money. On the conditional grants, we then achieved 100% on both Honorable Chair and the Honorable members. It is therefore recommended that the members of the Portfolio Committee on Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure consider the 24-25 annual report. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair and the Honorable members. Honorable MEC, thank you so much.
Thanks very much, HOD. Through you, Chair, as per your guidance, allow me to also then request the acting CEO of RAL to take us through the RAL report. CEO.
Thank you, Honorable MEC. Greetings to the chairperson, and greetings further to members of the Portfolio Committee present here and those that have joined us online. Greetings further to our chairperson of the board, together with the board members, colleagues from RAL and the department. Honorable Chairperson, I'm going to present the annual performance report for 2024-25 financial year for the Roads Agency Limpopo. The report has got 3 sections, or 4 in particular. It is the purpose, organizational performance, summary thereof, targets not achieved, financial performance, which I will ask the CFO to present, and then I'll come back and do the presentation on the key challenges and interventions. The overall performance of the organization for the 2024-25 financial year, it is not satisfactory according to us, more especially with the percentage on page 3, where it indicates that we have managed to achieve only 54% of the targets that we had set out for ourselves, and we could not achieve 46% of those. Chairperson, there are 2 programs that we have at the agency. There is program 1, which is the administrative program, and this program is the one that basically led to this decline in our achievement. Because if you look at page 3 again at the bottom, it indicates that program 1 only achieved 25%, which means there is a lot to be done, and we are busy fixing that part as the people that have been tasked to turn things around. Of the 8 targets on program 1 that were set, only 2 were achieved, and then 6 were not achieved. That is an alarming thing to look at, but we are working on it. At the same time, there is program 2 that deals with construction. Still, as per the standards of RAL, we could have done better. We managed to achieve 67% of the targets, and then 33% of those targets were not achieved. I will then deal individually with the program 1 achievement performance indicators. Maybe just on this one, I need to first, before I do the presentation, on item 1.3, there is a typo there, a correction that needs to be effected. Instead of unqualified report, it must read qualified report. I will start with item number 1.2 of the performance indicators. On the implementation of approved internal audit plan, we did not achieve. There is a variance of 9.5 there. On the clean audit, we have got an unqualified report, which we are not proud of, and we are working hard on it. And then on the AGSA report, weaknesses rectified, there's a variance of about 44%. On the eligible supplier paid within RAL, paid within 30 days, we still have got a variance of about 17.5%. The amount secured from private sector partners, we could not achieve in this financial year. We will later then indicate measures that were put in place and changes that occurred thereafter. 1.8 employees trained. The target was 130. We managed an output of 128. There's a variance of 2. That on its own says that we could not achieve 6 of these performance indicators. We could only achieve 2. On program number 2, 2.3, the number of kilometers of surface roads visually assessed, I think we did not do our REMS there. That is the one that caused the biggest variation of 2235.64. The number of kilometers of gravel roads, which we still did not do the visual assessment there, of 6958, that we could not achieve because we did not have the service provider to assist us on that. On 2.3, we maybe want to clarify a few, this figure that the output, we used internal staff, thinking that they will be in a position to assist us to achieve whatever that we can achieve, so that it should not just be that there is nothing has been done by RAL, but that on its own could only achieve a small amount of data that we could collect and then deal with. The 2.5, we could not achieve. The indicator indicates the square meters of surfaced roads of the rehabilitation. There's a variance of 437,798. Item number 2.8, number of bridges. The target was 5 bridges. We could only implement 3, and 2 were not implemented, which is something that we must work on so that we can achieve the number of bridges, because are critical to our province. 2.9, the number of square meters of gravel roads re-gravelled. As indicated, there is a variance of 178,100. I'm pleased to say that this indicator, the Dikgaregere program, has greatly assisted us in this regard. Going forward, I think is something that we should appreciate and maybe improve on it for the future. Item number 3.4, work opportunities created. There's a variance of 551, which is something that still we have to work on. Now I'm going to be focusing on the targets not achieved. We'll deal with program 1, providing reasons to the committee, as well as the planned interventions, and maybe just briefly nibbling on the things that we have put in place now as an activation of what needs to happen so that we can improve the situation at the agency. 1.1, implementation of approved internal audit annual plans. There was lack of capacity in terms of internal audit that caused a bit of delays when it came to that. But we have then indicated that we need to appoint a service provider to assist the internal audit committee. Furthermore, Honorable MEC, there is an audit and risk committee of the board that has been established that has assisted us greatly. In the first 2 meetings that we have held, we have realized the need for certain things to be changed to assist us moving forward in this regard. For the clean audit report, as indicated earlier, that we received a qualified audit report, which we must work on, and we have put systems in place to ensure that we follow the SCM regulations and further to deal with the misstatements that were reported in the past, and so that we can be in a position to improve the audit report of the next financial year. Percentage of the AGS reported weakness rectified. We identified that most of the findings pertaining to the ongoing projects, especially those projects that have been abandoned or stalled. Let me not put the word abandoned, it's like they are stalled. I'm pleased to inform the portfolio committee that the 2 major ones that caused irregular expenditure we have attended to. The first one is the Morebeng one, and the second one is the T866, the Twickenham, the one where we have partnership with the mine. Morebeng is the Sukmekar Honorable Helm. the one next to Suknekar. Yeah, thank you very much. Those were the two major ones that we thought we should, it will help us to, in our fight against this irregular expenditure that we are having. So we are pleased to say that we are trying by all means to implement so that we can avoid the overcommitment that what we experienced in the past. Percentage of eligible suppliers paid within 30 days. Invoices were paid late in the respective quarters due to cash flow constraints resulting from overcommitment. That's number one. But at the same time, we realized that in order for us to be able to control how the money is spent at RAL, we need to scrutinize each and every invoice that we receive. So that on its own caused a bit of delays or when it comes to payment of the invoices within the 30-day period. But since that exercise has been exhausted, we are currently paying within the stipulated time as requested by the law. On program 1, the amount secured from private sector partners. We have indicated that the partnership negotiations with potential contributors took place, but many private companies could not contribute financially. I guess somewhere along the line, these financial partners lost trust in us as an institution. But just to highlight that in the next financial year, we'll be reporting a different story because the influx of strategic partners that is coming to RAL it makes one happy as an individual. The report will be far different from what we'll be seeing here. Thank you very much. The number of employees trained. We realized the challenges with the availability of dates. So we are looking at a situation where we can maybe say do group training for employees so that we don't find ourselves not achieving the targets that we set out to achieve as an institution. The number of kilometers surfaced roads visually assessed as per, as I've indicated earlier on, that the RAMS, Road Asset Management System, we have advertised on the 24th of October. We got submissions from the suppliers that we want them to assist us in implementing this RAMS, because the major problem with regard to our audit was based on this assessment. Whether it's a gravel road or a tarred road, it was primarily on this RAMS project that we think in the next couple of weeks, as indicated, we would be probably getting a supplier or a provisional service provider who will assist us in obtaining information that we can analyze so that in the next audit we are ready and able to provide the Auditor General with the information required. Number of square meters of surfaced roads rehabilitated. The projects which were earmarked to contribute to the rehabilitation of the 2024-25 financial year did not perform well due to, number one, excessive rain experienced between November 2024 and March 2025. This inclement weather made it difficult for contractors to rework road layers before surfacing, because rehabilitation projects require reworking of road layers. In future, as an intervention, more rehabilitation activities will be programmed to be implemented during dry seasons. so that we can
Sorry
afford.
for sort of interjection. We are trying to follow you. Can you repeat the last item there?
Okay.
Because
The
let's
last,
say you were presenting.
the,
No, you were toning down. I don't know why.
all right, thank you,
Can you-
thank you,
yes,
Chairperson.
Please.
All right. The last item that I presented was in terms of the rehabilitation program projects. I've indicated that the cause of delays were due to, number one, rainfall experienced between November and March, November 2024 and March 2025. This inclement weather made it difficult for the contractors to rework road layers before surfacing, because rehabilitation projects in their nature require reworking of road layers. So, but as an intervention, we will in future try and implement our rehabilitation projects during the dry seasons, meaning around the period between April and towards September. That will include our winter season. On the next page, the number of bridges that we had targeted was 5. We could only implement 3. We could not implement 2. Of those 2 projects that we could not implement were projects T1175 and T1268. These projects we are earmarking to were earmarked to contribute to Q4 of the 2024 financial year due to performance from the service providers. Intervention there, Chairperson. Warning letters were issued to service providers for poor performance, and we will be following up on the remedial action that we're going to be taking as an agency, so that we can ensure that those service providers give us quality or value for our money. 2.9, the number of square meters of gravel roads re-gravelled. Projects were rejected by communities, especially the ones that we had said we will do re-gravelling due to financial constraints. Majority of them were rejected by communities, saying that they do not want re-gravelling but upgrading from gravel to tar. Only Shikungu and Harambuta projects have been approved by the communities and which have been implemented. There is a need as an intervention to educate our communities about the importance of re-gravelling projects, because not all roads can be upgraded to tar due to budget constraints. Maybe just to add, as I've indicated earlier, the program that the Honorable MEC came with the Dikharakhere program, fortunately most of the meetings, stakeholder meetings that we have attended where I was present, majority of communities that came there have appreciated what the department is doing, especially with the Dikharakhere program. And most of them are understanding that there is not enough money to cater or to implement the upgrades in the whole province. So majority are settling for the Dikharakhere program as in the meantime thing. So they know it's not a permanent solution, but they are appreciating the program, and for that we are grateful to the Honorable MEC. The number of work opportunities, we could not achieve that. The reasons for not achieving this target is the failure to enforce labor plans and target to achieve the 5% and 10% targets on both maintenance and upgrading projects respectively. Normally, in the upgrading, we're saying 10% of the amount of the contractor is appointed for must go for labor employment in the projects. And for the maintenance ones is 5% of that. Hence the 5% and the 10% that are indicated there. So the contractors were not able to have the expected intake number of workers as they didn't adhere to the labor plan on the work of the laborers that they needed to hire. As a planned intervention, the agency will ensure that the contractor submits a proper labor plan and make follow-up on the adherence of the plan throughout the projects. We have already started with that, especially on the projects where we realized there were problems with regard to the implementation of the labor plan. It affects us on our targets to meet our annual targets when we present to national on the stats. So therefore, we have intensified that program so that we are able to meet the annual targets. Thank you, Chairperson. I will hand over to the CFO to do the financial performance, and then I will come with the last portion of the presentation.
Thank you, CEO. Good afternoon, Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Members, Honorable MEC, Chairperson of the Board, HOD, Acting CEO, and colleagues. In terms of finance, I will start with the financial performance summary for 2024-25. Our budget for the financial year was 2.7 billion, and that was increased. It's an increase of 526 million as compared to the budget of the previous year, and it was also an increase of 338 million as compared to the initial budget adjustment as a result of the initial budget that had been allocated, and that 338 was because of the budget adjustment that was provided to RAL to mainly to address the issues of overcommitment that it had. So as far as the financial performance are concerned, so that you'll see on the statement of financial performance, we recorded a net deficit of 1 billion as compared to 74 million deficit that was reported in the previous financial year. And the deficit was mainly because of non-cash items, mainly 1.8 billion of the roads and bridges that have been transferred from RAL to SANRAL in the current financial year. But that was offset by increase in the budget adjustment. So the deficit would have been much higher than 1 billion, which has been indicated. So as far as the total revenue for the financial year is concerned, where we include the budget, the government grant allocation, as well as our own generated revenue and revenue from strategic partnership. So our revenue increased from 2.2 billion to 2.95, and something that can be noted here is 162 million, which, as you can see here, we say private sector contribution is different to what had been reported, where we did not report anything. This is mainly the roads that are constructed by municipalities and even SANRAL on the road network of RAL, which is recorded as a contribution from private sectors. So coming to the expenditure side, so our total expenditure for the year increased by 1.5 billion, and the main contributing factor as indicated is the transfer of the roads from RAL to SANRAL, and which amounted to 1.822 billion. You can see there's recognition, and also other expenditure that went up is the COE, which increased by 8%. It went to 119 million. Depreciation and impairment, it actually decreased from 1.69 billion to 1.61 billion. That is mainly because most of our assets are getting fully depreciated. The impairment also went down from 27 million to 57, from 57 million to 27 million, and partly because we did not do full assessment of our road condition network so that we can identify all the roads that have been impaired. In terms of the maintenance, repair and maintenance, the major part of it relating to the road. So it actually decreased from 412 million to 310 million. The decrease is mainly because most of our expenditure went to the rehabilitation as opposed to maintenance because of the nature of the condition of the road, where most of the work that need to be done relate to rehabilitation as opposed to maintenance. Then finally, we had a decrease in terms of the general expenses, where it went down to 69 million because of the cost austerity measure that RAL implemented. The major line that saw decrease is on the professional service, which went down. So in terms of the split of our budget for the year, it is made up of equitable share of 1.489 billion, as well as a conditional grant of 1.4 billion. So the total commitment that we had at the end of the year was sitting at 2.3 billion, which went down from the previous, which from 2023-24, it was sitting at almost 4 billion. And that the decrease was mainly because we put most of the road infrastructure project on hold to address the issue of overcommitment. So in terms of infrastructure expenditure, the budget was sitting at 2.6 billion. But the expenditure for the year, it went up. We exceeded the budget by 38 million, where we spent 2.7 million. And we'll be able to see different categories. The major contributing factor is on the road upgrade, where the budget was sitting at 887 million. Expenditure went to 1.4 billion. But in the next slide, which talk to administration expenditure, we see that the total admin budget for the year, initially, was reduced to 222 million from the previous. Actually, there was a reduction of 4 million during the mid-year budget adjustment. So at the end of the year, there was underspending of 39 million on the admin budget. And that is the one that was used to deal with the overspending of 38 million on the road infrastructure projects. On the strategic partnership contributions, the total roads that have been constructed through strategic partnership amounted to 1.389 billion, of which RAL contributed 804 million and strategic partners contributed 585 million. So in the next slide is the progress in terms of addressing the AG action plan. At the end of financial year, we're sitting at 48%. And some of the main reason for that, you'll see different categories where on the asset side, the progress was sitting at 17%. The main issue was on the assets, which is where because we didn't have service provider RAMs appointed, so there were certain findings that could not be resolved at the end of the year. And on the supply chain, there were a few instances of SLA that had to be addressed. So on the HR, there were instances of policies, most of which were some of major section of the policies have been completed now, and now the other sections will be completed by the end of this quarter. And also there were projects on hold which contributed to slow progress in terms of addressing the findings relating to the engineering. And that is the progress made in terms of dealing with the AG action plan in summary. Thank you. I'll be handing over to CEO.
Thank you, CFO. Chairperson, I will be dealing with the last portion of this report, the key challenges and the intervention. In the key challenges, we'll be addressing the visual condition assessment, which is the RAMS, irregular expenditure, audit action plan, performance information, and organizational capacity. Let me start with the visual condition assessment. As indicated earlier in the report, we indicated that the mere fact that it was not done affected our audit report greatly. So we decided that we are going to have it done this time around. As I've indicated, on the 24th of October, panel of service providers submitted their bids, and then we'll be doing that evaluation. I think there are about 15 of them. We'll sit as the bid evaluation and the BAC to evaluate and then come up with a service provider that we will ask to work even during December holidays and come back early January, so that by February we should have the information as required. The irregular expenditure, we have said to the board of directors in the last board meeting that we have declared war against irregular expenditure. In as much as we have managed to get 3.8 billion condonement, we believe we can work even harder to get to attack this irregular expenditure. The idea is that we have got monthly audit steering committees meetings with the subcommittee of the board of the ARC that has just been appointed. I think it will assist us greatly going forward. But so far, we're planning to submit by the end of Q3 or beginning of Q4 a condonement. The team led by the CFO has been working hard on dealing with the irregular expenditure. As I've indicated earlier, that there were 4 stalled projects. The 2 have restarted. That will assist us greatly with the irregular expenditure, because those were irregular expenditures that were recurring year after year. If you remember that the Morebeng project started way around 2020-21. So it means this irregular expenditure has been recurring over the years. But with that having started, I think it will assist us greatly going forward. Audit action plan. In the past, I think we neglected on the management report that normally the Auditor General would give us, and then they will provide you with an audit action plan. What is it that you need to do to improve what led you to be where you are? So we have set up a team to deal specifically with the audit action plan, so that this plan can be taken to Treasury to be reviewed, and then so that we can get proper guidance going forward, so that we can improve on the audit action or the findings from Auditor General. Material misstatements which were identified, we viewed this in a very strong light. Misstatement has got a very strong connotation of misrepresentation, kind of. So you don't want to find yourself being labeled as a person who would misrepresent yourself or the organization that you are tasked to spearhead in the right direction. So therefore, we have started the process of involving staff, so that this information mentality of silo mentality should be dealt with. So, but we want to verify each and every information that comes to us as an official report. So if we don't have verification of that information, we are not going to be dealing or presenting that portion of the report until the specific individual comes with a portfolio of evidence to say this is what we have done, and they present as such. Whether good or bad, it has to be reported. no matter what, so that we can be in a position to identify our weaknesses and then we report correctly to especially oversight committees like yourself. We have strengthened M&E, monitoring and evaluation. We are, with the organizational structure that is coming, the review of the organizational structure that is coming, it will help us to identify correct or capable individuals within the organization, because there are those that are misplaced. I'm glad to report that currently we are busy with interviews to fill up the positions that will assist us in achieving our goals. Organizational capacity, which is the last one. Maybe I should mention something here. The relationship between the department and RAL has improved greatly, to an extent that we have signed a service level agreement with the department on upgrades as well as maintenance projects. We have shown capacity in terms of implementation of projects. And we are going to make sure that all the projects that we'll be implementing on behalf of the department, spending is at the highest level. And then we can spend whatever that has been allocated to RAL to implement within a specific period, and we can meet the targets as per the service level agreement. As indicated, that we are accelerating the appointment of new personnel that will assist us, especially in the engineering department, where we can have capacity to be able to implement more projects. If we were to be given with a task of performing or implementing 200 or 300 projects at a go, then we know we have got the capacity internally to be able to implement those projects. Thank you very much, Chairperson. That is our presentation. Thank you, Honorable MEC, for the opportunity.
Chair, maybe before I then hand over back to you, Honorable Chair, just to indicate one from the department point of view, through our presentation, I want to confirm here, Honorable Chair, and commit that on behalf of the Department of Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure, we are going to remain committed going forward to make sure that all targets, set targets are achieved. That's number one. What also encouraging, Chair, from the department side is that we managed to overachieve in most of our areas as presented here. For instance, if I can give example on the issue of education projects, where we have delivered a total of 18 schools. And there are a lot of other areas that we have overachieved. So what I'm always say to colleagues is that whatever we achieve. So all these achievements must directly speak to improved service delivery on the ground. That's very important. I think my colleagues have also dwelled much on the Khere service delivery initiative, which in the main is making a lot of strides in the province. As you saw from the presentation, that the target was for us to re-gravel 45 kilometers, but we are now above 132. I think now we are at around 150 kilometers. So you can see that we have double, if not triple the number there. So that is the achievement, that the overachievement that I was talking about. On the issue of road agency Limpopo, we all agree, Chair, here that it's not looking good. But I can assure you and that Honorable Chair and Honorable members that now we have a full team of board of directors, and the issue of appointment of the audit risk committees also assisting us in the department to deal with the issues that are related to audit outcomes. But in order for us to also strengthen the internal capacity in the entity, for the first time we've advertised around 42 posts. That includes 21 interns, which in those particular posts, some of the important posts there that they've been on contract, now they are going to be permanent. So if someone is on a permanent basis, there will be serious progress, but also that person will know that if he does not perform, will then come back to him or her to check what exactly are challenges and all that. So I said to them that at least now, when we write to Treasury, we must request that some of the posts there of the executive, in particular in engineering, must be permanent. And I can confirm here that some of them are permanent, which give us comfort that we'll be able to track progress and have an accountability at that part. So on the 15th of November, I will be welcoming the newly appointed colleagues at the Road Agency Limpopo, including the CEO. So when we come back next time here, we'll not be coming back with the acting CEO. I know that they've been shortlisting interviews, and then the appointment is due to be finalized, if not finalized. So I think that that also will then assist us. So even after the dismissal of the executive manager of corporate service, we are also going to make sure that before the end of this week, we advertise that particular post so that we can also fill it before December, so that we have a fully fledged structure, organizational structure that will then be able to do the work there at the entity. I think on the issue of stalled projects, we are very deliberate there, as led by the Honorable Premier of this province, Met Dr. Popira Matuba, that we need to deal with all the stalled projects. And from seated here, all of us knows that we have done that in Mavunga, and the project there is at 98, 99%. And we have also activated Moribeng. That's seated here. I know that the contractor has started work because they have submitted their site establishment invoices, I'm told. So I think on the issue of stalled projects, we have not been doing well, but they were giving a special attention to make sure that we deal with those particular stalled projects, not only on the two, but we just want to show the public and also our committee here that we are deliberate in going to make sure that we deal with the issue of stalled projects. So as I've said, we are trying by all means to capacitate our organizational structure so that we have a fully fledged structure where we'll be able to do a lot of things in-house, because my intention is that we need to capacitate all our institutions. We have done that in the department where seated here comfortable that we're doing a serious strides in the department, where in a space of a year we've managed to hire more than 450 people, and by the end of this month, November, we'll be welcoming another cohort, the fourth cohort since the seventh administration, where we'll be above 500. So we're deliberate in making sure that we create jobs for our people in the province, but also to strengthen the internal capacity of the department. Maybe before I give you back a chair, just to indicate that on the issue of regraveling, we've made a serious strides through our service delivery initiative, because in the past we were doing regraveling by a service provider. So the RAL will get a service provider who will go and do regraveling for us. Also the blading, at some point, I'm told that we were doing it through service provider. So, but since the launch of the Kherekhere, we are doing the regraveling and the blading in-house, where you can see that we have tripled the targets that we have set for ourselves. So from where we are seated, we acknowledge that we are not really pushing well, especially at our entity, but all of us seated here, we know that so, but we are trying by our level best to make sure that we turn things around, but with the fully fleshed board that is there, with the audit, the risk committee, and also with the colleagues that will be welcoming in the next few weeks, I can assure the public and this committee that can need the Lodi change. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, MEC, and the team, the management team from Department of Public Works, Road Infrastructure, and the RAL for such a wonderful presentation. We are not going to waste time, but I suppose the honorable members, they were noting areas where they will raise questions and also as well as making comments, including the members who are connected visually. They were also noting some areas where they will raise questions. So it's now your opportunity, honorable members, out of the presentation by the department and the RAL, also the comment by our MEC. Honorable members. Honorable Helm, Honorable Pokone. For now, we have 2 hands. Yes, we can start, Honorable Helm.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Good morning, Chairperson, members, our support staff, MEC, HOD, RAL, Sitseli. Good morning to all of you, all the people with you. Thank you very much. Chairperson, keep in mind that this is an annual report before our term started. So, and it's a history document, so we cannot change much about that. I will just have a few questions because there's no need for us to ask anything because it's already in the past. The first one is that I'm just interested, the infrastructure designs to do with the traditional councils, which legislation informed that? How did we as a department get involved in the traditional councils to renovate, to build, to whatever? Is it, I don't understand quite that connection. I would like to see an amount of the staff debt at some stage. And then I noticed that there's a lot to speak about the Department of Education and projects for the Department of Education, but I don't see anything for health. And then I want to ask, the buildings like the SAPS buildings and the other departmental buildings, are we not involved in that? For example, just one example, in Oorigstad, there's a station building that is being occupied by illegal occupants, and the building itself is no longer stable. Are we still responsible or not? Because I don't see anything in these reports that guide us to that. Thank you, Chair. That is, just one more question. There was a mention in the infrastructure design ready for tenders, and they speak about a borehole in Mupani. I just want to get clarity what that is for the department. Thank you, Chair. That's it.
Honorable Pokone, and then we also have Honorable Livo, who's connected visually. You come after Honorable Pokone.
Okay, no, thanks, Chair. Firstly, let me appreciate the MEC that we are sitting on nice chairs. And indeed, these improvements are really appreciated. You know, at oftentimes, the chair, it's sometimes pestered. He was sometimes pestered when we had to come for sittings, including in that boardroom, that side, to say, you are the chair of public works, you must sit down. So at least you will get a relief this time around. We really appreciate that. I must also appreciate the fact that there is an overall improvement in terms of performance with regard to the department. Much more, of course, with the improved audit outcome. We really appreciate MEC. My question firstly will be focused on RAL. We are concerned, of course, with this the audit outcome, the qualified audit outcome. We are raising the issue with the AG to say it seems that if department or entities takes a long time stagnant on a particular audit outcome, much more when they are on unqualified, they tend to regress if they don't move to qualified, to clean audit. So we are really concerned about this. Part of the issues that the AG indicated, of course, I should think the acting CEO covered them, of course, to indicate they led to the qualification. They raised the issue of the irregular expenditure that is not accurately disclosed. We are laboring under the impression that care will be taken of such things, acting CEO, so that we don't explain the same things. Because they are saying that the issue is not necessarily the irregular expenditure, it is how it has been disclosed. I want to check with RAL. One of the issues that the AG raised was that there has been an issue of people being appointed on acting capacity from lower positions to higher positions. I want to check how RAL can account on that, what was happening. The other issue, it's with regard to the audit action plan. I'm not sure if I might have captured what the acting CEO was saying, because in the report it's captured that the audit action plan has been developed and reviewed by Treasury. I just want to get an assurance if has that happened, or is it still in the process of being developed and so forth and so forth. Because in the presentation, I might have captured something else, but with the presentation, what is captured in the actual presentation, there is that indication to say the audit action plan has been developed and reviewed by Treasury. But when the CEO was presenting, I happened to hear something else. So I just want to check if I might have captured him correctly. Another issue, it's the issue of regraveling of roads. That has been, it's indicated that there were some communities who rejected the regraveling of the roads on the basis that they demanded tarred roads. I'm suggesting that I should think the MEC could use the stakeholders, his meeting with the stakeholders to try and address those matters. If there are certain communities that have been identified to be given regraveling of roads, at least they should be addressed at that level so that we are able to persuade them to ensure that they accept, and it does not arrest the progress of our entity. With regard to the number of the bridges that could not be finished, the issue is, it is said that warning letters have been written to service providers. Warning letters have been written to service providers. I'm trying to check here, how long should it take if a service provider isn't performing as expected to a point that at this point in time we might be having letters now being written to service providers, because I should think the project should have been completed in the previous financial year. But at this present moment, we're still writing warning letters to service providers. How long must we take before, how long does it take for us to be able to take action against service providers who are not doing as expected? Because they make the department to fail. And I should think the department has entered into a service level agreement with those service providers, and they must be able to ensure that they address matters in terms of the agreements reached, so that they don't hold the progress of the department. Our people should be able to get those services that they so much need. So that's the other issue I wanted to check. How then do we have to take so long before action could be taken? Another concern, of course, it's the issue of, just now it is said to you, acting CEO, that service providers are now just about to be appointed to deal with the issue of the visual assessment, condition assessment. I'm wondering, why should it take a long time? Because I should think RAL might have clearly knew that they can't do that by themselves. To have to wait for a long time to be able to address that matter of appointing service providers, or were there other issues that could have prevented RAL to take such kind of a step well in advance, so that this work gets done? Because if we have got plans that we need to implement, obviously we must be able to put in place mechanisms of ensuring that they get implemented. Because if we just plan and not put mechanisms in place, obviously it will be difficult for us to achieve whatever we intend to achieve, because those plans won't just happen automatically by themselves. They need to be implemented. So I'm just checking, why does it have to take this long until RAL could not manage to ensure that they have this task being done the entire financial year, and it's now that it's about to appoint. Of course, I must acknowledge that we are from a past, but that cannot be justification enough, because there have been people there working. So RAL should be able to indicate what was happening to that extent that we could not be able to address these matters. Chair, I would want to come back. Thanks.
Monitoring and evaluation and so forth. So the properties can just idle there whilst we don't know who's making money out of those properties, and there might be legal connections of electricities and all this, that water and so forth, and the money that the department is spending monthly and annually in terms of maintaining the properties that are not generating the exact revenue in terms of their market value and so forth. So the department must explore the possibilities of public-private partnership and so forth, and see what is possible in terms of capitalizing on that. Somewhere in your report you indicated you are hiring people, let me see, but there is something, I think it's 40 or 41 extra people who are on your organogram. They are extra because they were not necessarily part of your plans if we check on that document. The established infrastructure hub, unless if I missed one of the meetings, we need a report on that, a detailed report. Who is there and what skills are they possessing? Are they adding value to the province? Do they have necessary skills to and deliver in terms of the intended objectives of the infrastructure hub? Or we just have people being paid there and those skills are not required? It is something which perhaps if the office can prepare a report and it be submitted to the committee, detailed report of their responsibilities and the projects they're engaged upon, all individual members. And Chair, on RAL, the performance of 54% is worrisome because in terms of employment, there is overachievement, but in terms of performance, it's very low. These two things must go together. You have more personnel who can deliver the results. That should be worrisome for the departmental leadership and the people of Limpopo. Opportunities in the construction, okay, in terms of employment, the department is informed by service providers that we have employed this number of people. So that information is then fed into the reports which comes to the department, legislature and public. But I wanted to check MEC and HOD, if you have assigned people in the department who monitor, because in terms of your monitoring and evaluation, you are not doing well, who then verify this information which is given by contractors? Because it has financial implications. People might give you numbers which are not on the ground, which are not on site. What are the mechanisms which you are applying to make sure that the information you are giving us, the figures in terms of employment, are correct as per what is on site? Because we need clarity on that so that you don't rely on people just feeding you information and tomorrow you realize that this information was incorrect and it will be late. How do you intend to clear the billions of overcommitments? How long will it take for these overcommitments to be cleared? And we want assurance that MEC, no one in your department or in the provincial government is going around doing commitments which are not part of the departmental plan, because it means this thing will go on forever. There must be a day, an expected day, where the public will know that the department will have closed this matter and will then have a department and agency which is running normal and going aggressive in terms. I don't know what is this technology. So we need that possible date of what can be done. And what are the prospects of attaining a clean audit? Perhaps it's linked to those things of not performing very well or the budget being taken by overcommitments and so forth. Time and again, Chairperson, there is failure to visually assess the roads, visually do this and that, and some technologies perhaps must be used. We need a date so that even the AG next time, when they report positively on these indicators, because there are two indicators which relate to visual assessment of roads and so forth, and there is zero performance. I saw they're saying there's an advert, this and that, but that must be prioritized. How does it benefit the department? And if it continues to, we fail to get the target, what is its impact, including on the AG? I think I noted one issue also. The private sector commitments, that you are raising it there that they are not delivering on their commitments, on their pledges and so forth. How does such commitments relate to their corporate social responsibility? Because if they commit publicly and in their reports they say we have committed 1, 2, 3, and they don't come on board, the department has committed the resources and you get halfway, you are stuck. Communities will protest, but in their reports it will indicate that they've given the public or the department resources to run certain projects. So there must be a binder to say, if you commit by this period, this commitment must have been executed so that we run with the project. Check if these commitments which they were not honored, were not reported in their financials and everything as something which was delivered, because that will be misleading to public and other authorities. Surely it has serious negative impact on these people. And hence I'm saying let's also look in-house. What can we do with the available properties without relying on people who just commit and keep quiet? That is a problem. The rehabilitation of roads, which has a backlog, and you have cited rain as one of the major contributors. But it means the backlog will continue. Now it's rainy season again. It means it's going to add on the field that was done in terms of rehabilitation. So there must be a solid program that deals with rehabilitation aggressively so that when the rains comes or even in that period of rains, people are not suffering along the way and we clear the backlog. The last issue, Chair, the department has been hiring people and even in the agency, and there's that infrastructure hub. Can we have the department also in line with the plans and submissions we made previously that the department must establish a factory, an entity that which will then deal with cement production and so forth? Can we have the department piloting in-house construction of roads, literally in-house? Because there is capacity in terms of engineers and everyone is there. People have been hired. I think people are underutilized. Let's start piloting in-house construction of roads and see how much is going to be saved. How many roads can we add? Because much of the resources are taken by outside outsourced processes to plan and execute these things. And there is the recognition of roads, which at one stage it was 15 million. So I want to ask a specific question here. It moves from 15 million to 1.8 billion, if I saw your report properly. So my question is, all these years, was the department getting wrong reports or what was happening? Because it doesn't make sense. 15 million to 1.8 billion, what happened? What was happening? Was there somebody who was cooking books to make the department look better, or his or her attempt to look better? There's something which is not adding up. One will submit that we need a clear written submission on this particular item as highlighted. And the rest, we hope that MEC, the roads that we have launched, they will be executed within the project time frame as planned, so that the people of Limpopo can enjoy, few as they are. Let's see dust. Let's make sure that there are no delays in terms of implementing those projects, and continue going outside to get more private people to invest in the province. Like the last time I said, we went to many countries. The equipment about the committed resources, and we see action in our province.
Thank you very much, honorable members. Those were the questions as raised. Maybe to just add some.
Before you add, Honorable Chair,
Oh, sorry.
I had
yes,
raised
sorry,
my
sorry.
hand.
Hey, sorry, honorable. Hey. Sorry, honorable Sepuru. I forgot. I forgot you. Okay, please come in.
thank you, Honorable Chair, honorable members and support staff, Honorable MEC, and your entourage, including the chairperson of the board and the CEO. I've got 5 questions. One is now let me start by appreciating extra effort that was made by the MEC through that initiative of Itikharakhere, which helped the department to overachieve in a number of aspects. So on this one, departments have got the tendency to set low targets. And I would want to check from the department as to whether before the MEC could inject some progress, as to whether your targets were based on the baseline of the previous achievement. The MEC could have come at any time, whether your targets was high or not, you would surpass those. But I just want to find out from your planning point of view as to whether your targets were based on the previous baseline performance. You said little about government properties, your buildings, your houses and land. How far are you in terms of having an audit of those properties? And what is it that you are doing to ensure that those properties are beneficial to the department in terms of generating revenue? You installed some electricity meters somewhere else in order to have to increase your revenue. But within a matter of days or time, you removed those meters. Could you kindly share with us as to the reasons why you removed those meters? And the billing system, the people who are staying in those houses are complaining about the billing system. Have you improved on that? What measures have you put in place to ensure that your billing system does not necessarily inconvenience those people who are staying in those houses? When we are talking about payment of service providers within 30 days, you are general. What are the percentage? Is that 100% achievement now? Or where are we? Because you can't just say we are paying them on time generally. Remember that not paying service providers in time, it affects their performance. And in the process, it affects the performance of the department and RAL. Mention was made of loss of confidence by your partners. But I didn't hear what is it that led to the loss of confidence. Because if you have loss of confidence, it means you are not going to get assisted. Can you share with us as to what is it that made the confidence to decline? And lastly, on the two bridges, I didn't grasp you well. Are you saying you have already appointed service providers to commence with the work on those two outstanding bridges? Or are you still in the process of cancelling the contracts? And on the Steelport Bridge, what is it that is being done there? Is it an improvement or a regression? We thought there was going to be some improvement from that old bridge to the current one, but seemingly things are not that pleasing. Could you kindly share with us as to what is it that is happening there so that we are on page? Thank you. On par with.
Honorable Pokane, I think you have follow-up.
Yeah, no, thanks, Chair. Safe to say that other honorable members have managed to address other issues that I would have wanted to raise, except just a few. I would want to check with the department. There is this issue that they were able to achieve. It's the completion of 18 schools in the previous financial year. I would want them to expatiate on that one. Then with regard to the revenue of 141 million, which some part which which was received from RAL, I contest that the amount received from RAL can't be said to be revenue collected. I don't know what to call it, but I don't agree with the take of the department to say it's revenue collected, because RAL is not one of those centers that the department uses for their own revenue collection. So I have got a serious problem with that saying to say that it should form part of revenue collected. It's not a stream for revenue collection, this RAL. Another question that I would want to check with the department, it's, of course, there was a target of 75 immovable assets to be verified, and they managed to verify almost 475 with the appointment of a task team to do exactly that. I just want to believe that maybe we might need to have that verification report so that we would be able to be in a better state of understanding what the status of those assets are, which have been verified. I would also want to know if there is a plan, or should I say it's a maintenance plan, to deal with structures that are found to be dilapidated. Because I should think part of what must inform whatever plan should be that verification, if that should be the case. I would also want to check with the department if, can we safely say that all our cost centers are appropriately and adequately manned? Do they all have the appropriate manpower, the correct number of manpower to deal with the responsibilities expected of those cost centers? Maybe, of course, inclusive of the necessary machinery that they might need to utilize. I'm aware, of course, of the fact that there are new machineries that the department it's buying. Maybe the last question I would want to check with the department is whether they might be having the legal capacity to deal with all matters, legal challenges within the department. Thanks, Chair.
No, thank you, honorable members, for raising those questions. Just to add on the number of questions that were raised by honorable members, maybe to add some few. When RAL was, the acting CEO of RAL was presenting, he raised the issue of the audit to say the internal, we are lacking capacity in terms of the internal audit. Now, I want to check what is being done, because it means that is the one area which impede the entity, in terms of dealing with the audit findings, because it must start in-house. We must have built a capacity internally to prepare for audit. And then the next question, yes, is raised by, actually just a follow-up, is raised by Honorable Sepuru. The payment invoices delay, what are the issues there? what are the mechanisms that is being put in place to speed up that process? Because the portfolio committee, sometimes we are being called by service providers to say we are frustrated by the department. The department is frustrating us. We felt maybe you will intervene. And we say, no, go back to the department. HOD, that issue of delays is a cause for concern. That's why it is being escalated to the portfolio committee. You know, they say when you want to find a way, you must know where you are going. I'm just saying this on the basis of the presentation by RAL, that it's indeed, it indicates commitment when they are able to also identify the challenges, to say these are the challenges that we are confronted with, and that these are the mechanisms that we are employing in order to deal with those challenges. So it means we know, at least you know where we're going. So then that's why you are able to actually understand the areas where you need to improve. In particular, the irregular, expenditure, as also raised by the auditor. Before we meet you, we met with the AG. They were raising those issues for irregular expenditures, and we have arrived at a determination to say, as the portfolio committee, in the subsequent interaction with yourselves, there will be a standing item to us. Irregular expenditure and consequence management, because that is how you are going to give us, to update us, to give us the progress report in terms of dealing with the irregular expenditures, and there's that demand of condonment, you see. So we can see where there's a light at the end of the tunnel. The last one, in our preparatory meeting, MEC, the portfolio committee was raising the issue of the 21 RAL projects that were handed over. We want to get an update because we are getting it that the project has been handed over, but they have not yet started. They have not yet started. That's the information that we're getting. So we want an update with regard to that. And then, the roads, MEC, the RAL projects that are handed over to Sandra. Can you actually expand, want to get an understanding why do SRAL, hand over the project to Sandra? Is it the misplacement where maybe you were implementing projects that do not fall under our entity, or what the story around that? I think we need a explanation. Then the last one, where is that? Yeah. The outsourcing, the RAL outsourcing the review of HR policies, because the AG stated that it was fruitless and wasteful expenditure. Outsourcing the review of HR policies. Then the last one that we think MEC should also update us is to update the committee on Welisizo bridges in Mokgalakwen. I think that's all that we have as honorable members. Then I'll give you platform, MEC, and your team to respond to those questions. Thank you.
No, thanks very much, Honorable Chair and honorable members present here. Let me start by appreciating all the constructive feedback and questions from honorable members as a point of departure. On the issues raised here by Honorable Helm, about the issue of traditional authorities' buildings. Honorable Hem, we are the landlord of all provincial departments as the Department of Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure, where in the main we are implementing the infrastructure on behalf of all our client departments, including Coxter. Secondly, on the issue of the buildings that the honorable member spoke about, of police and correctional facilities and home affairs, those buildings belongs to National Department of Public Works. They are belonging there. It's the responsibility of National Department of Public Works, but we are working very well with them, where we see issues that need their urgent intervention. We are able to make sure that we alert them. So like on this one, we'll just need those specific buildings so that we can then alert our colleagues from the National Department of Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure. On the issues raised here by Honorable Pukani, I'm tempted, Honorable Pukani, to agree with you in terms of saying that it's a cause of concern for RAL's poor performance. I agree with you. And I think it's also important for the committee here to note that we are now having a fully functional board, as I alluded before, with its audit and risk committee. So we are confident that we'll be able to change the status quo and how things were done in the past. Secondly, I've also earlier on alluded to the fact that we are busy appointing new staff members to fill vacant positions, just to strengthen the internal capacity. But maybe to emphasize that we're putting a special focus on internal controls, that we deal with some of these issues. I'm saying that, Honorable Chair, that we are putting special focus on internal control because I know very well that there is also the post of internal control or internal auditor there on this current post that I said that will be unveiling them on the 15th of November this year. So we're very deliberate in making sure that we then strengthen our internal controls in the entity. On regraveling, Honorable Pukani, when the acting CEO was presenting here, saying that there was a rejection by some communities on the issue of regraveling part, let me indicate that it was before the intervention of hashtag the Khere Service Delivery Initiative, which in the main our communities were rejecting that particular issue because, like I said before, we were doing regraveling through Road Agency Limpopo. So you'll find that they appoint a contractor to do regraveling. So when they go to that community and say, will be, for example, I was told that we were doing regraveling of 4 kilometers, maybe around 8 million. So when the contractor is introduced to the community was then rejecting that particular opportunity because to them, they feel like we're wasting a lot of money because if you add another 7 million, you can then do 1 kilometer of a tar road in that particular community. So they were rejecting on those bases as per report by the CEO. But currently, through our stakeholder Tuesday meetings where we have already met, Honorable Chair, we have made serious strides there because we have already met with more than 100 communities where I think from where I'm seated, our communities are understanding the level and the pressure that we find ourselves at the estate department, where we can't just have all roads being upgraded at the same time due to lack of resources. So they were rejecting on that part. So currently through our hashtag Dikgeregere Service Delivery Initiative Chair, on the 4 kilometers that we're spending 8 million through a service provider, we spent just less than 50,000 of diesel with our own internal staff and our own internal machinery. So that is the serious strides that we have made. You can see how much now we save using our Dikgeregere Service Delivery Initiative. So they were rejecting based on that. I think even Honorable Lebo have raised that particular issue. So that was the main reason. But for now, to deal with the issue of overcommitment, I think the issue of stakeholder Tuesday meetings is working for us, Honorable Chair, because we are able to share our frustrations as the department with our communities, but also the plans that we have for our communities. And I can assure you that the communities in this province are understanding. Hence, they at some point request us to come to just to make their roads drivable in the meantime, and will then immediately in those particular meetings activate our Dikgeregere team to go and help them. So part of overcommitment, part of the reason why we have made overcommitment is that I was told that they were issuing some of the letters to service providers just to ease pressure that they were having on our communities. So those are some of the reasons that we were told they have contributed for overcommitment. So I can assure you that with more than 100 communities that I've met, there is no single community that, as the MEC, have committed that I'm going to build a road while I know that there is no money. So I honestly speak to our communities, honestly explain to them the pressures that we have and the plans. And I can tell you that although the meetings at some point, they are robust to an extent that you think that they will not end, but then at the end of the day, we manage to get each other. So from I'm seated, I have not committed anything. The entity have not committed anything. So I can assure this committee that the issue of overcommitment will be the issue of the past, as and when we must not forget that we are dealing with legacy issues, that they can't be just done overnight. We are going to try by all means that we don't go back to where we come from. So there was another issue that was raised here by Honorable Bo about the Said and Dorp. Let me indicate, Honorable Bo, that that building, we are refurbishing it on behalf of LIDET, and there were technical glitches that resulted into non-payment of the contractor. So I've also launched a program, Chair, called hashtag projects monitoring, where I monitor projects. So I visited that facility 3 weeks back, and I've made sure that all those issues that were giving them problems there are resolved, and I can safely say I was briefed that this run year 15, the contractor was paid. So now the project is back on track, and our colleagues are there on the ground, and I can tell you that the progress that has been made there is really impressive. And what I also like about that project, because I was there, is that we'll also have a lot of boardrooms there that some of them will be able to use as colleagues from our government and also our entity. So the project is now proceeding very well, and we hope that it will be handed over very soon. I was assured that before the end of this financial year, we'll be able to go and hand over that project. There was a request here to expatiate on the 18 school projects that were implementing on behalf of the Department of Education. I can say to the honorable members here that we are implementing those projects on behalf of the Department of Education to create a safe environment for learners across the province, Chair. And we are working very well jointly with the Department of Education. And now in this financial year, we will implement more than 60 projects. And we are now at the procurement stage of, we're now finalizing the procurement of those particular 60 projects. So there is the work that we are doing there. So there was also a question raised about Department of Health. As you know, that they are now currently doing some of the projects internally because they have the maintenance panel there. But there are other projects that we are implementing on their behalf, like the issue of Maputa Malachi that we have just handed over with the Honorable Premier some few months back. The project that was stalled for quite some time, and we managed to unlock that particular project. On the issue of properties, I think all of us seated here, we agree that the issue of properties is one of the thorny issues that we find ourselves as the department, and that affect us very negatively, because even on the presentation that was presented here, we are doing very well. We're at 94%, but if it was not the issue of properties and assets, I think we would be at 100%. So the issue of properties is a thorny issue that from seated here, I think there is a serious progress and strides that we are making on that particular issue. I'm saying that confidently, Chair, because last time when we met here, there were issues raised about those that are illegally occupying our properties, like those that we said they were illegally taken by thugs in Toyando and Giani, if you remember very well. So I can confidently say here that we have now won the issue of Giani, where we've taken them to court, and the results of the court are in our favor. And we are going to be implementing that court order as granted by the High Court. And it's not going to be nice to those that have forcefully taken our properties and destroyed them. So I'm told that there is a hotel that was built on our land there, where some of our properties were demolished. So according to the court order, we are going to do what they've done to us in terms of our properties, as and when we'll be implementing and forcing that court order. So it's not like there's nothing that we're doing, but the fact of the matter, like I said, these are historic issues, legacy issues that we find ourselves in, but we're trying by all means that we then deal with the issue of all this government property. And we're appealing to everyone that have information about government properties anywhere in the province to come to us and say, there is this issue of this property. Can you check whether it belongs to public works? But it's not only properties, even the farms. So, and from Mamsitet, I'm also aware that there is the process of getting a service provider who will assist us in terms of audit for all our properties, including land, farms that are owned by the Department of Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure. So there's something that we are doing there. On the issue of loss of confidence, I think maybe because the acting CEO was not firm when he was presenting this report to us, and they was not very clear on when and how were doing things. Yes, it's true. If colleagues, honorable members can agree here, I can remind them that at some point I came here that we were having serious challenges with our, saying that we were having serious challenges with our partners who at some point were giving us monies to do skontiri, but they're now we're using that money for other things. And I said to the committee here that we've had a meeting with them in Cape Town, co-mining in Dava, where they said to us that they see the light and the hope in this seventh administration as led by the Honorable Premier Dr. Popira Matu, that now they will come on board. And seated here, all of us, we can agree that even when I was presenting the budget speech of this financial year, there are several partners that have came on board after that particular meeting, whereby Vanentian Mine is giving us more than 150 million, where we'll be constructing a road in Blowback and also in Musina. And there's also Valterra there in Mogalakwena, which also committed close to 100 million that they are going to help us. And just last week, I got another call from the Premier's office that there is another mine in Skukune, which are saying that they are very ready to come and work with us. So I can safely say to the committee that in terms of partnerships, I think that we are doing very well now, because the problem with business is that they want to have confidence, Honorable Pukan. If business does not have confidence, they won't come and invest. So, but currently, I think that they are happy with how we're running things, and we have assured them that Rena from the Department of Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure, we don't just need their money. If need be, we'll agree with them that there will be a contractor that can still be paid by you as the mine directly, just to show that we are not about the money, but as services to our people. So I can safely say to you that there is a serious progress on the issue of partnership. On the issue of maintenance, and I think that as the department we have indicated some few weeks back that we will be implementing 22 projects of preventative maintenance that will be doing this financially. I think in the next 2 weeks they will be kickstarting with the work. The issue of 21 projects, I think we've also made serious strides there, because you must know that after we've handed over, there are still processes that need to be undertaken. You must go to the communities, they must elect the PLC, they must elect the PLC, they must have the OHS and all that. So all those processes have been finalized now. And all the contractors, I think except 2 or 3, they have now established site. So, because even the instruction was very clear that they need to start working. There were issues of Department of Labor, because the projects are more than some 20 million. So I think we needed also to make sure that we get a green light from Department of Labor. So there were processes that were still undertaken, but I can assure you that our contractors are hard at work, and they are going to make sure that they finish the money that is allocated to them this financial year. With all of them now, except the 2 that they are saying there are still challenges, they have established sites. So we're making serious strides there, and we assure the committee that when we come here next time, there will be a serious progress on those projects. On the issue of handing over projects to SANRAL, I think this is a normal process that we have been doing, Honorable Chair and Honorable Members, that there will be some of the roads that we will request SANRAL to do on our behalf, where we do a devolution of those roads to SANRAL so that they can then upgrade them on our behalf. After that, we gazette them back. They gazette them back to the Department of Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure to maintain them. So there's nothing new about that. As well as us, as the department, there are some of the roads that we devolve them to those municipalities that have capacity. Like in the last stakeholder meetings, I met with the PMT of Ephraim Magale, where they requested us to say that Bona is the municipality, they've secured 100 million, and there are specific roads that connects with their internal roads, which are our D roads, and in the main we don't have money, and they are willing to then do on our behalf. So we've activated our team of engineers to work together with them so that they can align the designs, with our designs with their designs, with the standards that we want our roads as RAL. So there's nothing new about that of devolution of roads from us to SANRAL, but also from the department to our municipality, only those that have capacity to come. And then after if Ramal are done with those particular roads, we will then gazette them back to the department because they belong to us, they are our D roads. So that's what I can say about the issue of it. On the issue of outsourcing of the review of policies, I think that one will never repeat itself. I agree with AG. So those are some of the issues that I have raised sharply and said that they are not going to repeat themselves. Even now on the issue of recruitment and shortlisting and interview, I think in the past they were outsourcing that. I stopped them. I said to them that they will do those that work themselves, and they are doing the work themselves. Where they need assistance from colleagues from the department, they get those particular people. Where they need assistance from those that are in our SOEs, they get them for free. So that issue will not repeat itself, because even in our strategic meetings, at some point we were outsourcing people who come and facilitate our strategic meetings as the entity. But now, since we have tried to make things differently, those are the issues that they will no longer repeat themselves, and we are very clear on that. So we agree with AG there, and we promise that we are not going to repeat that. On the issue of Welisizwe, the breaches in Waterberg, fortunately, I've also, through our program as a department of project monitoring, #project monitoring programs, I've also visited all the projects that were done through Welisizwe in the district of Waterberg, and we have actively, remember that the money comes from the Department of Public Works National. So we're working very well with them. Where there were glitches, we have managed to then unlock those particular glitches together with the Department of Public Works National. So those projects, you'll see them progressing very well, because we've also put a radar on those particular projects. And I know about the projects. I went physically to those breaches. Some they've completed them, some they were still busy with those particular projects. So on the issue of appointment of acting, or people who are acting, yes, it's something that we said it must stop and it must end now. And we are closing that chapter, because we will be filling the positions that the people were just acting. And when we also checked with their policy, it was very silent about those people who are just acting there. But we said that thing must never repeat itself, taking advantage that the HR policy there is silent, and they thought that nothing is wrong. So some of, if not all of the positions that were on acting are going to be filled. Our colleagues now, some of them are not here with us today because they are busy with short listings and interviews of those particular projects. On the issue of termination of contractors, here I'll be addressing two issues. It will then talk to Honorable Chair and Honorable Members, the legal capacity. because Rena from our seated, we don't tolerate non-performance, but we also, honorable members, try by all means to follow the SLA to the latter before we terminate that particular contractor. We have said here that there are others that we have sent warning letters. Those are part of the processes that need to be followed before we terminate those particular contractors, because we're trying by all means to reduce the litigations at the entity and the department. There was the issue of legal capacity. The legal capacity will never have capacity that we said we can say here, safely say we are fine with the budget that we have legally. So that is why we'll try by all means that as and when we terminate these contractors, it must not come back to us and then we have to pay a lot of legal bills. Like, for example, at RAL, we only have a budget of 10 million of legal. So you can see that we're not doing well in terms of the budget. So we're going to try by all means that as and when we push for termination, we don't in the main do wrong things, because after we have signed the SLA, then there are a lot of bindings that you have to adhere to. So we will try by all means, but safe to say that some of the issues that we found being problems to these contractors that are not performing is under coding. And in terms of our law, if you code COFAS, then you are the one that get the contract. So someone will code down, but at the end of the day, that person is not going to be able to deliver. But before you terminate him, you should have go through many processes. And those that are lying in terms of CIDP and all that, there are processes that are taking place. In this recent statistics and the report from CIDP, there are 7 of contractors that are from Limpopo which are terminated and blacklisted, and some of them were from the Department of Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure. So on the issue of cost centers, Rena, at the department, all our programs are aligned to the vision and mission of the 7 administration, where we have established the issue of stakeholder Tuesday meetings, where we meet with communities, we plan when and where we can activate our service delivery initiative. We have also launched the hashtag service delivery initiative to deal with the issue of blading and regraveling of our roads in the province. So those programs are speaking to each other. So in terms of hashtag Operation Tsogamushumi is where I come from in the morning. Things are going well. I can assure the committee here that although we have some of the breakdowns, but we're trying by all means to reinforce our cost centers. So we are doing well in terms of that. So we're having 36 cost centers currently through our hashtag Operation Tsogamushumi. I've already visited 11 of them. So where there are issues that need urgent intervention, I intervene. Where there are some of legacy challenges that they will need another building and all that, we then see how we can plan in the next financial year. But where the buildings need repainting and all that, we have that capacity. We have hired people. They go and do that maintenance internal. So maintenance of our structures, there are those that were doing them internally using our building team, where we have, I said that we are no longer procuring any service provider to change the locks and change windows and all that. We do those all that work internally using our own internal staff. So I think that I've managed to deal with all the issues that have been raised here. But safe to say, Honorable Chair and honorable members, that we really appreciate your guidance always. And we really appreciate the robustness of this committee, also all the questions that are always raised in this, committee build us, but also then reinforce us and to even work more hard on the issue of a subsidiary. Honorable Lebo, we're trying by all means to meet that requirement. We said to the colleagues at RAL to try by all means to see whether we can have a subsidiary. I know that they're still benchmarking with some of the colleagues that are having subsidiary. Like I said, even in our last meetings, that the subsidiary that I will want to see progressing very well is a subsidiary where we'll be manufacturing pavements as the department and our entity, RAL subsidiary, where some of these roads, which are 3 kilometers, 4 kilometers, where we connect with those that are done by municipalities, we can be able to do those particular roads using our own internal staff and that particular pavement subsidiary that will be establishing. On the issues of bridges, at Steel Bridge, I will be inviting you very soon. We're at 99%. And also that road of Amalekana that was giving our problems, our people sleepless nights there with a lot of potholes. At some point it was trendy and all that. We have managed to deal with that issue. Honorable Pokane comes from that particular locality, he can attest to that. So we have done our best at that Steel Bridge. We're at 99%, like in Mavunga. We are at 98, 99%. So as and when we'll be going to hand over this project, we will kindly send you an invitation as the committee to come and witness the good work that we are doing, because we know that all this constructive criticism that we get from this committee is in order for them in order for you to make us even do more for our people. So I think I've managed to deal with all the questions that have been raised here by honorable members. Thanks very much.
Honorable MEC and the management team for responding to the questions raised by honorable members. I should think we are coming to the end of our meeting, unless from honorable members, if there are outstanding questions that were not responded to. Honorable Pokane.
No, thanks, Chair. It's not a follow-up question, but I just want to take advantage of the presence of the MEC to raise with him one or two issues. There is this road, MEC, it's a Bermuda road to Gaochuan. So I'm just checking if you might have received that community coming to raise concerns about that issue, because it has been an issue for quite some time, which of course has been giving problems. And another one that I would want you to assist with, it's a Home Affairs building that has been rented in practice here, which is a challenge, of course. We had a visit there with the Public Service Commission. That place is not suitable for a Home Affairs because it's not habitable for our people there. So I would request your indulgence, MEC, that I know it's an issue of national, but you got all the capacity to engage with them, and also engage the leadership of Fetago Mutubazi municipality, so that maybe we could have a spot there to house the Home Affairs, so that it could be accessed by a lot of our people, because where it is situated now, it's just problematic. Thanks, Chair.
And then, it's okay, the last one. Okay, I don't want to take it like you have been provoked, but fine, I'm give you platform. Honorable Helm, Honorable Sepuru. Then we conclude.
Parliamentary village, the new houses. When can we going to move? When can the people move in? The new houses.
Parliamentary village. Okay, noted. Honorable Pokane.
My chair is tired. I understand that. Obviously, the MEC could not answer this one on the setting of targets because it is an administrative issue. It is an administrative issue. And even though I was not responded to, I would just emphasize that when coming to setting of targets, they must be based on the baseline of the previous performance, not to set them deliberately low so that you overachieve. I just wanted to emphasize that. Thank you.
Give the HOD to talk to the issue of targets.
No, thanks very much, Honorable Chair and the honorable members through your MEC. I think we try to give that background, especially for 24-25 financial year, to say the targets were set before the new administration, and mainly on the side of the Kharakher. But for the new financial year, we are looking and we are using those baselines that are there, so that we are able to align. I even said for the first time, the targets on regraveling and blading, they are now also in the Limpopo Development Plan as sector-specific targets. But that we are looking at, and thank you very much that it has been raised.
No, thanks, through you, Chair. On the issue of Gauteng, Honorable Pukan, we have met them through our stakeholder Tuesday, and we have also finalized the designs there. So they are part of the 84 roads that we have finalized the designs. And like I said, even when we met in the last meeting, I said that we are not going to be doing another or other designs before we complete dealing with the 84. So I stopped them to do more designs. So we're having 84 now. We've appointed 21 out of 84. So in the next financial year, we'll then take other from the 84, so that we don't just do designs without upgrading, which is costing the department. So it's part of that arrangement of designs, Honorable Pukan. And we've also met them through our stakeholder Tuesday. We have explained our status as the department, and they've accepted and agreed to what we've then offered them. So on the issue of Home Affairs, I think colleagues are here, HOD, you need to then write that letter to colleagues of the Department of Public Works National, so that we can then inform them about this particular building that is not complying in terms of labor prescripts. So on that one, we're also going to make sure that we report it, and then we see how best can we deal with that. On the issue of new houses, in terms of the report that we have received, Honorable Helm, from what do we call, from IDT. I think we have agreed that the last house will be handed over next year around August. But we should also lobby some of our colleagues because now they feel comfortable to sit outside, to stay outside, and they are saying to me in corners, MEC, you seems like you are pushing hard on this issue of new houses. Yeah, so Barno, you must slow down a bit because you are pushing too much on this issue. And I don't want to say it in front of people. You know what is the reason. So as and when you are pushing me, please lobby some of the colleagues. And some of their colleagues who are saying to me, man, hey, you must slow down. You are very fast on this issue. So we're trying by all means to push IDT. Remember, even in the last meeting, you requested us to push them on the issue of a Toyando tax rank. We have now appointed Toyando tax rank. They have pushed in terms of professional work here at the legislature. Now, I'm told that they have also advertised the issue of the civil. So I think we're making serious progress on that. And even on the IDT, like I said, I've taken a decision that we're not going to allocate them any more job until they finish with what they are doing. And this financial year, we have not allocated them any cent. So they must focus on the schools that they are building for us and also on this one. So honorable members who are watching here will call me after this, I know, say, hey, Honorable Helmo must vaha pikman on this one. No, thanks very much, Honorable Chair.
There are one or two outstanding questions from that were raised by Honorable Levo. He's raising his hand to say, let's give him chance to remind the MEC and the team of those questions that were not responded to. Honorable Levo?
Yeah, thanks, Chairperson. Not necessarily, and I just wanted to check because the departmental leadership is here. What are the prospects of the department intervening in a situation where the municipality is failing to deliver? Let's say with the potholes, and you see the bridge is a problem. Now they've put some still things to make sure that the cars don't go close to where there's a problem in the bridge. It's not only in that area of Tulamela. When you go to Seshego, there is that of the department intervening in such instances where municipalities are failing to deliver such services. The last issue was with regard to, because my network is continuously cutting, with regard to the security upgrades at the Parliamentary Village. How far they? Yeah, thanks, Chair.
Yeah. No, thanks very much, Honorable Chair. On the security upgrades, I've also through the project monitoring, project monitoring of the department, we've made a 10-year. We are now at 88% in terms of the work that has been happening. I think all of us now can even feel the change of the whole complex. We're trying our level best to make sure that we finalize this project. So we're at 88%. We are really pushing them to make sure that very soon they should complete with the work that they are doing. But most of the issues that were challenging them, I think they've managed to deal with that. So we're at 88%. And maybe in the next meeting when we meet here, we'll be talking another story. So the other issue was on the prospects of intervening. We were just trying our level best to to see how best can we work together through our DDM, District Development Model, together with our municipalities. So, but ka spedi sa mpahlele bare wa e gapa o molato wa e tlogela molato. I'm saying that because this is the same portfolio committee that we are accounting to, which can then, in the next meeting, say to us, account here, AG is saying you are doing the work that you are not supposed to do, that was supposed to be done by municipalities. So what about the resources that you are using there, which are out of, so, but in the meantime, the communities who don't care whether this work is done by provincial, national level, or local level. So we are trying our level best to see how best can we work together, but I'm just raising those particular hiccups that we find ourselves in as the department. But the fact of the matter is that our people don't care whether the services are done by our municipality, and you know that a lot of our municipalities are at distress, and like us as the department, we are not doing well financially, but we are trying our level best to assist our communities, even in terms of re-graveling and blading some of the streets and shoulders. We assist some of the municipalities because our roads are damaged mainly because some of them we don't maintain the shoulders and all that. So we are very deliberate in making sure that we deal with the shoulders so that our roads can then have a long lifespan. So on that one, Honorable Bogo, we will just try by all means to see how best can we work together, but not going out of line and doing things not according to the law. Thanks very much.
Honorable members, for actually heeding to the call to be part of this meeting and raising those critical questions. And the MEC and the department, they were equal to the task in terms of responding to almost all of them. And then this shows, our positive, interaction, a positive relationship with the department in terms of, coming to account to the portfolio committee. And for our session today, we should appreciate the progress made MEC and the HOD with regard to some of the issues that were raised in our last meeting. However, we are not, comfortable. We are not satisfied with the progress registered with RAL. I must just raise it on behalf of the portfolio committee. They must just up their game, making sure that on the issues that were raised or limitations that yourself you were able to identify, can you deal with those and make sure that in our next meeting, you are able to actually give us progress report. So this annual report 2024-25, I think we've exhausted everything. Come the next annual report 2025-2026, the situation must have changed, must have upped our game. I think in RAL, that is the area where we must focus MEC. With the department, we could see the good work that is being done there. What is needed is to be consistent, HOD, just to be consistent, up your game. The issue of monitoring and evaluation, as it was raised in particular by RAL, we've been raising MEC the issue of project management. That's one area that we must just focus. This stalled project that we're raising, engaging here. I think the most challenges come from the project management. So I think if we could just improve in that area, HOD, then we'll be okay as the department. So with those few words, I thank you very much, our staff compliment the good work that you are doing for us. It's really highly recommended. Then announcement, coordinator. Then we close the meeting.
Thank you, Chair. Announcements on my side, there isn't any except the obvious one, which is lunch will be served.
Okay. Thank you. This